Now on BBC One, we go over to Liz Simpson, who's off camera at TV Centre, finding out what goes on behind the scenes in the presentation department.
Haven't you always wanted to be on screen?
No, I can't say I have, really.
How many times in the course of the day would we hear your voice?
Well, maybe a dozen, perhaps.
And for how long each time?
Up to a minute and a half.
This man only works 18 minutes a day.
Probably a bit more than that at home.
Credit slightly early.
I've got all my research to do. I've got to do my timings for the director. I've got to be prepared for an emergency, all these kind of things. So there's a lot to it.
5 seconds of words, fast mix into the cartoon.
What's the longest time you've ever had to fill in?
Oh, about 5 minutes, but it seemed like a long 5 minutes.
What do you say in 5 minutes?
Well, this is where the job comes in, because we have to know about all the programmes, we have to watch all the programmes. So I sit there and talk about the programmes, things you can see tomorrow night, the day after if necessary, and try to keep the viewer interested and entertained. Would you like to hear my words into it?
Okay, we're into 2 minutes now.
People have to make trails, people have to decide on the identity of the BBC as a whole. That all comes from our department. Quite frankly, it's such a complex business, and it involves all the regions as well and all the breakouts throughout the country, that it amazes me that we manage to get every single program on air at the right time, and that it's the correct program without too many incidents.
And cut.
Philippa Forrester is on her way from the BBC dressing room and will be with us in just over 10 minutes. First on BBC One, a cartoon double bill, beginning with Dangerous Dan McPhoo.
Do people ever recognise your voice when you're out and about?
Very rarely, because I don't think we actually look very much like we sound. I mean, you can be the judge of that, but I think that we are perhaps heard more than any other broadcaster in Britain, and yet not known by very many of them.
No, you won't spot Mark on Children's BBC. He simply uses the broom cupboard as another sound studio. But he's kept the seat warm for one of the few continuity announcers that are in Vision, Philippa Forrester.